Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Phoenix Point, where today we have made some advancement. Let's have a look at these soldiers and see what can be done. So Sophia has leveled up. That earns us 36 soldier skill points, with which to improve stats and stuff. The action point cost of the next shot with a proficient weapon is reduced by 1 with minus 30% accuracy, limited to 2 uses per turn. So, how much will do you have? You have a willpower value of 11, but how many points is that? Is that 11 points? So, this is an ability you could use 3 times per battle to let you take a 1 cost shot. I mean, it seems pretty good. We also obviously can improve our stats a little bit here. Strength determines maximum HP and the amount that the weight can be carried, in addition to the grenade throwing. And willpower is just about will points. Well, it's not just about will points, also panic. Okay. So, I mean, being able to move quickly is a big deal. And it would be really nice to pick up Die Hard on as many of our soldiers as possible so early on, or maybe not. Again, it would be super nice to know what the percentage chance is. There's a chance to survive with 1 HP. Like, if it's 50%, I will slam this button on every person. If it's 2%, then probably not so much. I'm going to go ahead and take this. I think this is really strong. And this is potentially worth it. It's really hard to say exactly, but it seems potentially worth it on soldiers so early in the game. And then, do we want to nudge her skill points? Her stat points, rather? I think probably. I could nudge speed if I'm willing to take some points out of the general till. She has a little bit lower strength than the others. If I remember correctly, she has a little bit less carry weight, but I don't know that I care so much. I think it's a point of will. Yeah, let's give her a point of will. Did that? Oh, okay. It's 12. It's 11. I would get 11 back if she went down. It costs 12 to go up. I see. All right, that's fine. We'll take that. Is there a? How do I lock those in? Do I just back out, or so there's a dismiss button? Yeah, that seems to have done it. She is willpower 12. Okay. You also have 36 points. Shoot back at an enemy when it attacks, provided the soldier is using a direct fire projectile weapon with proficiency and the enemy is within half perception range. With this weapon, that seems like there's going to be a lot of people shooting at you from outside of range, especially with this guy's damaged perception. But if you get to fire the heavy cannon for free, it's a big deal, right? So in terms of resource savings and stuff, his willpower is way more frequently used. He's a lot harder to kill. I think I'm going to take the Die Hard though. It does seem very powerful. I'm also gonna juice up his willpower just a little bit. He actually has abilities, to use. Well, I guess like once the other people have quick aim, they also do. I'm just going to do that on everybody. Do you need willpower? You actually probably need willpower more than the others. And Sokolova. Overwatch is set to 1 action point cost for all weapons, meaning that when she is like in a sniping position during battle, she can do a sniper, like an actual shot on her turn, and then go into sniper Overwatch. Feels pretty good, actually. And then we'll do this, and maybe we'll just hold on to the points for her. Well, no, we'll give her willpower too. She doesn't have as much need for it, but it's still good for, not panicking. And eventually she'll have abilities. And then sadly, Jacob does not get to level up. He's the only person. All right, so back to here. We did this thing. Now we are in a position. We have stamina recovery on board. So Omar can start to recover, but as we learned last time, being low on stamina means you have dramatically reduced AP. And we don't really want him going into battle in places where he's going to have 2 AP, which means he can't even fire his weapon, right? That said, flying back home and then flying out is inconvenient. I kind of think I'm going to go to one more site and then head home. We don't even know for sure that there will be combat here. Our operatives have discovered an abandoned Phoenix Project facility. This is not a proper base, but only a small laboratory that was used to quickly analyze samples. It was shut down in 1989 on the orders of Fred Halleck, a bureaucrat who seemed intent on dismantling the Phoenix Project. There's not a lot left, but there are a few resources we could use. Stuck to a broken-down refrigerator is a caricature of Halleck with the words "Dirty Fred's Dastardly Designs" underneath, presaging the scandal that ended Halleck's career. Some of the notes in the lab seem to hint at the possibility that Halleck's fall was engineered by Phoenix Point operatives. So it turns out he was probably wasn't guilty of whatever in the first place. This game's got a real hard on about bureaucrats that I think is kind of it's a little concerning. Well, do we want to hit the triangle and then head back? How much? I don't our active fuel circle is still very large. I think we can push it a little more. It looks like we just refuel whenever we hit the ground, regardless of whether or not there is a thing to refuel from. You can see the mist creeping in slowly. Scum, villainy, and unbeatable prices. Welcome to the marketplace. Marketplace offers cheap soldiers of fortune with mediocre equipment that cannot receive mutations or bionics, handcrafted weapons known as chaos guns, with good performance but small magazines and expensive ammo that can only be bought in the bazaar, Junker, the post-collapse ground vehicle of choice, and modules for it and other vehicles, and access to faction technologies. Stock rotates approximately every 3 days, and more options will become gradually available. You can access and make purchases in the bazaar remotely without a vehicle at the site. Okay, so it's a really good thing to have discovered. How do I access it? Do I just click? Yeah, I just click here. Okay. The Obliterator. An 8-shot burst assault rifle. I mean, that's cool. A Junker is certainly a vehicle. We can hire on Exile, a former Synedrian member that voluntarily abandoned the commune haven. Whether driven by radical beliefs, personal conflicts, or something else remains unclear. Even the origin of the armor is a mystery. It could have been a parting gift or quietly taken in the night. Whatever the truth, radical freedom includes the right to leave. Many exiles channel their independence into security work, the one service where demand always outstrips the supply. This one keeps discussion strictly professional, ignoring questions that don't pertain to the job. Expectations, contracts, perks, and day rates. So, not a terribly expensive hire, honestly. The Junker, we have these resources, right? It's probably worth having an extra vehicle. And by extra vehicle, I mean a vehicle, obviously, because our other vehicle hit some snags. Okay. I guess I hadn't. I think when I bought that, it spawned some new stuff. I think I had scrolled down all the way. We can get another heavy. This soldier is one of the few surviving members of a loose collection of powerful military outfits who sometimes fought alongside New Jericho in the years before the collapse. Their gear is ancient and in bad need of repair, and their outdated and poorly maintained military implants cause them constant pain, which often makes them aggressive and confused, evidenced in trophy taking and other unethical behavior. Okay, so maybe not, maybe we don't, you know? We're good. I'm good. Thank you for the vehicle. Please deploy that back to Phoenix Point, and we'll just head home and let Omar rest a little bit, I think. Okay, yeah, I kind of thought I thought we were going to have to make a trip back earlier because of the fact that the Manticore was going to run out of fuel eventually. I didn't realize we were just able to recharge completely every time we land, no matter what. So, if we want to reconfigure what is in the Manticore, how do I do this? I mean, that button is remove him from the team entirely, right? How do I... it's got to be in here somewhere. Phoenix Point. This is the Air Force tab. Here you can equip, view, and manage all of your aircraft. So here's our cool Manticore with its module and whatnot. Because I'd like to let him rest if we can let him rest, and then we can probably load the vehicle in, right? I don't have any idea how many slots the vehicle's going to take. I apologize. It seems a little silly. Here we go. Okay, I can say Omar, transfer to Phoenix Point. There we go. The Junker is going to take... Is there a way of knowing how many spaces? Doesn't really say. I mean, I want to bring soldiers, right? I want to bring soldiers. But we do have some people who need to recover from some injuries. Okay. It's 3. Maybe it's just always 3? I don't know. For vehicles. Chaos rules. Can we clean this thing up a little bit? Like visually? What if it just looked, what if it looked neat? Fancy? Oh. That is fancy. That's a little much in my opinion. Just give it like a, what the heck are our colors? Yeah, kind of like this and then like a blue. That's sort of, oh man, didn't look very good. If I'm honest, I don't think that looks very good. We just can't, the problem is we can't affect all these rusty bits at the bottom, and the white doesn't look so good with them. Well, I'll tell you friends, I think we sort of hit the limit of how good this thing can be made to look. So we're just going to call that good enough. And fly around a bit while Omar and Arena recover. Some pretty high value soldiers to be missing, but we gotta know. We should figure out if this is a haven or what this is here. Okay, in this third mist, the Pandora virus has mutated yet again. The new strain is slowly driving the survivors insane. Willpower points are reduced by the amount of delirium a character has. This effect is, in turn, reduced when the character is well rested. Each 10 points in stamina reduces the effect of delirium by 1. Delirium is gained by participating in missions where mist is present, or suffering attacks from Pandorans with delirium or co-delirium damage. Different ways of dealing or living with delirium will become available through research. Excerpt from Oniric Delirium Psychosocial Impact Assessment 2047-0103. Is that the... I have no idea what date it is right now, and it's not at the top of the screen or anything. We are ready to share our preliminary findings regarding the new Pandora virus outbreak. The viral mist is an extremely unusual phenomenon. It is in fact a highly complex aerosol, capable of moving with deliberation and transporting viral DNA and other microbes. It is our belief that the vast waves of mist that helped cause the destruction of civilization were generated underwater by gigantic mutated structures. Each wave, including the current one, referred to by the population as the third mist, has slightly different properties. We've received reports of a variety of afflictions suffered by individuals who have traveled or reside in areas covered by the mist. Tiredness, lack of energy, brain fog, anguish, and sometimes hallucinations. It sounded a little familiar. So far, we can conclude the following. Symptoms never fully disappear, but are negligible when the subjects are fully rested, and progressively become worse as they exert themselves. Or, as their sleep hygiene maybe gets a little bit worse. You have one bad night, and then, you're... Anyway, symptoms get worse if the subject stays or returns to locations where the mist is present. We have termed this condition oniric delirium on account of the subjects complaining of nightmares or crazy dreams, with similar themes of monstrous degeneration and smothering. Huh. Cool. Well, good to know, everybody. Please watch out for this. Anyway, back to what we were doing. What's going on at this site that's about to be misted over? The Manticore 1 circles a huge gathering of tents and other temporary shelters. Our operatives set down to find the massive camp totally abandoned. It looks like it was once some kind of aid base administered by the Red Cross, the Red Crescent, or the United Nations. There was no one left alive. Hours of trawling through ruined tent after ruined tent take their toll on our operatives. It is hard to scavenge through the remains of people's lives, a grim reminder of all that was lost. However, we're successful at it and we find lots of stuff. Well, then I guess let's just boogie on to the next place. So, it's not as easy for me to keep track of the stats. I wish that these people's stats were more visible, but Omar's halfway healed. Irina's ready to come back.
Research complete.
Okay, cool. After recovering the base and analyzing the databanks that have been left functional, it is clear that Phoenix Point is now the only operating Phoenix base. There may be other bases out there, but we'll need to find them and bring them back online. There is no sign of Randolph Symes III, but he has left something potentially useful for us.
Randolph Symes was the last leader of the Phoenix Project. His great-grandfather had been there when it was founded, and he was there to witness its end. When we took back Phoenix Point, we found his notes. In his final days, as the world collapsed around him, he'd been working frantically to understand the Pandora virus. Somewhere in the complicated history of the project, in decades of missions and investigations, there had to be an answer. His notes were damaged, too many of the files corrupted. But perhaps, if we could retrace his steps, we could figure out where his journey had taken him and what the answers he had discovered would mean for us.
All critical Phoenix objectives are marked with the Phoenix Point symbol on the objectives panel. Completing these will bring you closer to solving the Pandora virus crisis. Taking this course is not the only path to victory. Very interesting. So there is a path to victory that is clearly marked out, but also, keep your eyes open. So whatever happened to Dr. Symes? Randolph Symes III's notes indicate the existence of a private retreat owned by the Symes family used as a place of meditation and research. It may contain information that could help us understand what Symes was trying to achieve in his final days. We should figure that out. There are a number of inactive Phoenix bases spread throughout the world. In order to activate them, select the base on the geoscape and hit Activate Base from the menu. Activation costs resources, and the cost increases with each base activated. There is an increasing possibility that bases will be infested after you activate them. You'll need to send a squad to clear out the infestation before you can use it. Okay. This feels like an odd moment to have mentioned that. But I guess we're being directed. Okay, I mean, things are going all right. We're still building. I need to assign a new research. So, the first assault recon module. Among the Phoenix archives, we have found the original designs for the first assault recon module to carry up to 4 additional operatives in any aircraft and also allows them to rest and recuperate midair. We can also research these factions and stuff. The ability to recruit is probably important. This is a thing that we want to have before we need it, right? And then let's have a look around. At the Disciples of Anu Haven of Larsa, a mutated worm infestation is causing serious problems. The locals had placed their hopes in Taxiarch Nergal. Yep, okay, always a good idea. The Disciples' greatest military hero, but Nergal is said to be fighting a series of pitched battles against the Pandorans and has been unable to help. We could eradicate the infestation ourselves, helping the Haven and creating a good first impression with this faction. Well, it seems like we should do that then. I have fought worms before. We can handle some worms. I hope. Hopefully the Junker should be very good at this. Feels like the sort of problem you could solve with the big wheels. Although I know that they will not allow us to do that. So I'm assuming that they gotta have backup or something, right? It can't just be worms. That would seem. I was about to say that would seem to be pretty easy, but I guess if the carpet of worms is dense enough. Okay, so just find and kill all the enemies. We're aware of one over there right now. And I mean, like, the thing to do here is to get high ground, right? This is the place where I do wish we had arena. I am not going to have a direct shot on anybody. I think I am just going to have Jacob run up to the high ground. At the very least, like, the visual information will be valuable. Okay, that's good to know.
Watch out, I'm moving in. There.
Okay, one closer by. Still doesn't change my intent.
Tango spotted.
Okay, yeah, like look at that. Look at how much we learned. So we have a minigun which does 10 35 damage shots, and the Vishnu gun, which is more of a grenade launcher. Okay. How accurate is this gun? The answer is not really. Let's see about this. Nice. Good start. We hear sound over there. I mean, this thing has to be largely immune to the poisons, right? I am actually going to just roll out into the open. Fuck you, objects. Okay, so there's a couple up there. Which is not to say that I think it can't be damaged by the worms, but, they're a lot less of a concern. That's a hell of a shot there, friend. I don't know if I think that's even worth doing. Is there a way? No, because we don't have jetpacks or anything, there's not really a way for us to scramble up onto most of these structures. I don't love that. I could put all 3 of my people up here eventually. Right, we could make that our strategy is just like move to the
already there.
Move to the crane. I bet the worms can't get up the crane. I sure hope the worms can't get up the crane. We'll set some overwatch here. Enemies will become aware of your presence when they are alerted and will attempt to track down and attack your squad. It feels like that should have been an Overwatch to me. Maybe I didn't. I mean, it clearly wasn't, but it feels like it should have been. Okay, that looks like a pretty good grenade launcher. Oh, please. Please just drop down there and climb up on them. So yeah, it was these two that were on this roof that I was primarily concerned with. Let me jump back to you. Can you reasonably launch a grenade into this building from here? Because that would be pretty cool. The Junker's attacks only cost 2 AP each, so if we're not moving, we do actually get to attack twice, which is really rad. And then this is a pretty close shot, although these things are a little far apart from each other, it looks like. And, you know, I guess it is the case that every one of these that I take down with the
Here I am.
crawler is a thing that I'm not. That's XP that I'm not getting on the soldiers. Okay, nice. Got him with the last shot as well.
Moving in.
Yeah, I feel like if we all just plant up here, especially if we have somebody right at the top of the ladder, it's hard for me to imagine the enemies successfully executing much here. And we have this incredibly clean line of sight to everybody and also the vehicle and everything. It just feels like a winning strategy. Unless they figure out how to operate the crane. In which case we could be in some trouble, I suppose. Alright, let's try to do the rest of this with the soldiers. Not that I regret... Okay, nice. Not that I regret getting my kills with the Junker where we could get them. I'm not sure the other guy's going to have an angle on this at all, so let's see if we can... Nope. 1 out of 12, sadly. Okay. Not bad, y'all. Okay, has that done it? It seems like the answer is no. Okay, easy. So here's the thing about, semi-procedural mission design, right? Sometimes you're just going to have a map that doesn't really... It's not really up to the task. I'm a little surprised at how much experience we were able to generate there. Especially considering how many of the kills went to the vehicle. I wonder if it is the case that the experience points from the vehicle kills just get spread evenly over the rest of the team or something.
Ally, we first send the apostle to the Onceborn to check them out. But I'm gonna break protocol to say thanks. Now listen, I'll be honest with you. The Exalted is the only one who has any real answers. Tobias West may be clever and Synedrian may sound great, but only the Exalted is dealing with the world as it actually is. She can lead us out of this mess. Give us lives worth living.
I feel like we already have lives worth living. I guess you're talking about your stuff. Sorry, what are you talking about? I'd like to know more.
if you want to work with us, you'll still have to deal with the hierarchy. Work your way up from the Apostle to the Onceborn, to the Keeper of the Threshold, all the way up to the Synod of Yearning and the Exalted herself. That's hard work. You'll have to earn the knowledge you gain. But trust me, it'll be worth it. And if the Synod gives you trouble, let me know.
Okay. Positive attitude, positive food. I mean, it's good to know. Eliza Jalala. Okay, well, we may as well poke our head around here a little bit. What was happening? A heavily fortified building explored by our operatives has turned out to be an abandoned server farm for the social media platform Plapper. Okay, which collapsed in the mid-2020s. Millions of short messages are archived here, documenting in detail the lives of the pre-war middle classes. Is this information worth preserving, or should we just take all the spare parts we need? What are we going to get from preserving the information? Because this I would assume is going to give you materials and tech, and tech is pretty useful. I'm really curious what kind of stance the game is going to take here on what the value of this information is. Perhaps one day we can figure out why people thought snarky comments were going to prevent the apocalypse. Boy, maybe. All right, so it's just positive attitude from everybody. I mean, I don't hate that. Now, obviously, we do want to go to the Symes retreat. I kind of feel like maybe we go to the Symes retreat when we have... Sorry, personnel is the button I wanted. Yeah, when we have all of our people back, which could be right now. We could just head back. But, like, since we're out here with all these things, it just feels like we ought to check them out now, you know?
Research complete.
Okay, we can now recruit soldiers from havens and among candidates found elsewhere by our agents. We've created a set of biometric and psyche val tests in order to select potential recruits. We hope to pick at least one suitable individual every few days. On signing up with us, the recruit or their dependents receive a single allotment of comestibles as compensation for their services. Boy, doesn't seem like much for a human life. We can also recruit in havens with leaders favorable to our cause. We expect that the candidates the havens offer will not be exactly the pick of the litter. They'll want to get rid of people they don't want to have. In addition, they'll insist on us buying the equipment for the recruit with a markup. But we can expect the recruits to be completely loyal to our cause. However, if necessary, a reliable indoctrination program can be implemented to supplement any deficiencies in that respect. Recruiting is vital in order to achieve victory. Yeah, it's important to have units. Send your aircraft to a haven with the recruit soldier icon next to it, then select haven info. You can only recruit if you have enough resources. Yeah, okay. I was in the middle of a search here, but we did finish our research. So, trade resources with havens. We're not going to need to build another first assault recon module. Well, the one we have right now is FARM, right? So maybe it's like a less functional version than the real version. I kind of want to do some autopsies and stuff, though. We're not short on food or materials right now. Being able to trade resources, I guess, is like pretty good. Pandoran evolution is one of the few things that's going to give us tech. And also, I'm sure it's important in the long run. Do we have a... Yeah, it is the next objective technology. Well, you know, maybe this is a good time to go after it. We don't have a lot of other stuff going on. It seems like we're going to have to do it fairly early. And then I should probably actually remember to level up the people who got the level ups. So, once per turn, free move after killing an enemy. Bonus speed seems pretty good. This would be 35 total. You know what? You're getting them both. This is not a sustainable rate of spend. Jacob has super leveled up. Well, I do want quick aim. Jacob's got a lot of skill points. I guess we will, in fact, just take everything. But no stats for you, I think. Okay, and people are looking pretty healthy, pretty ready to keep rocking. I mean, this is just another Synedrian, or not Synedrian, another, what do you call it? Disciples Haven. A lot of these over here are going to be, right? This is a Phoenix transfer point, so we know this is a facility. Oh, what is this now? Hopefully that's not landing close to anything important. Oh no, is it an egg? Man. Earlier today, an asteroid crashed into Earth. The release of kinetic energy was roughly equivalent to the limited nuclear exchange between India and Iran during World War III. The impact of the event has been dubbed Hammerfall because we don't have enough problems. The asteroid hit deep inside the quarantine zone where the Pandora virus has aggressively mutated the surrounding ecology. However, traces of seismic activity have been detected in faraway coastal regions, coinciding with rumors of Pandoran hordes emerging from the mist. Anu Havens join in a ritual to welcome the prophesized trials and tribulations, their incomprehensible chant reverberating across the airwaves. Synedrian, trapped in the complex web of its inner politics, fails to agree on a course of action, but one of their havens decides to send a mission to investigate the impact zone. New Jericho mobilizes its armed forces. Caught between the foolish and the mad, we must act, proclaims West. Okay, well, so where did that happen? Is that a thing that's an immediate concern for me? Okay, I guess we know the location of all of the old Phoenix Point sites since we got the data. That's it. There, the Hammerfall crater. Well, I'm worried. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little worried. There's a single Haven recruit available here. A Disciples of Anu. What are you? You're a Berserker. Proficiency with melee weapons and handguns. You got a big hammer. I mean, that's pretty fun. Is this the recruit cost here? 370, 286. I mean, we need more people, and we certainly don't have a guy who smashes shit with hammers. That seems like a fun friend to have along. Breathe Mist. Consume all mist within a 3-tile radius. Each 2 mist tiles consumed restores 1 will point. That's pretty terrifying. Shoot with your handgun for free. Sniper rifle proficiency. Seems like an odd thing for a berserker to pick up. Bloodlust. Gain up to 25% speed and damage based on lost health. Disabled body parts remain functional and you are immune to panic. Wow. Hard labor, the perception loss is probably less meaningful on this guy. This seems like a potentially good soldier, you know, once we have the time. How do I say yes, welcome aboard? Where's the button? None of these look like a recruit button to me. We don't have room on the bus. Might be the problem. Is that how it works? Do we need to have... It probably does, right? Or wait. Is this person not... They're not at the haven. They're not at the point I'm at. I'm in the air. They're at that haven. That's the... Okay. I got a little turned around. But again, we don't have room on the bus. Then we're not going to be able to pick them up anyway. That's not super far away from home. we could drop somebody off and come back. Is that a terrible waste? I don't know. So if I am understanding the problem here, I need you to take a little bit of a break. Just transfer back to Phoenix Point while I fly out here. All right, everybody at Phoenix Point is fully healed and rested, which is rad. And now I still don't actually see a button for this. Double click. I mean, I think we're allowed to. Their opinion of us is positive, but maybe it's not positive enough to be. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, it's not a big deal in any case. I think the thing that we're going to want to do now is probably check out this this Symes situation. So let's head back. Maybe go back to our initial loadout of just people. Put the junker back in the thing and bring everybody else on the Manticore. And yeah, let's go wreck some stuff, which we will do in just a moment. All right, sorry about that brief interruption on my part, but I am back and ready to do the thing here. So I was about to sail out to the Symes retreat, but I do want to fly back up here with one empty space in the Manticore and see if we can recruit this guy, just so that I know for sure that that's how that works. So let's just clear a seat, transfer to Phoenix Point. It's 3 hours there and back. I mean, it's not ideal time spent, but okay. So Haven info. So there's a recruit soldier button here. We also have the ability to raid. So if I go in through the Haven info, I can recruit them. Clicking on Haven recruits here, maybe it's just there's no way to do it from that menu. Okay, I think, yeah, that seems to be the case. All right, well, let's fly back home because I don't actually know. I mean, we're going out to this thing. I suppose I could have just gone straight there. The question is whether this is the crew I want to use to do that. Let's have a look at our new friend. So, big weird hammer, pretty fun. Let me hit edit here. So you have 20 strength, 10 willpower. Your berserker training is just weapon proficiency as far as I can tell. You probably would like to have a med kit. That would make some sense. So, like, it's hard to tell because I don't really get a good sense of... It does 160 damage and 330 shock. Our rifles do 6 shots of 30 damage each, so 180 when we get to drill all 6 shots to the enemy. So this is hitting harder than the rifles almost all the time, right? And it only costs 2 action points to use, and you actually only even need 1 hand. But running up on these dudes is obviously not the wisest thing in the world, and I do wonder. Like, it seems like it's going to be really effective as long as he doesn't get overrun, and also potentially he's going to get overrun. If we want him to really get effective, we're going to have to level him up. So I guess we'll take him out, and I guess an assault would be the right person to put aside. So yeah, you know what? Let's try it like this. Let's try this being the loadout. I'm not 100% sure that stuff will happen here. Eliminate enemy forces to get... Okay, no, we are sure that it will be battle. Well, I think this is still right. Let me actually just make sure everybody's still got their medkits and stuff, right? Yeah, it looks like. I'm going to give you an extra medkit because what else would we put in that slot for you? And then I guess let's go do the thing. I would like to train up a crew of weird soldiers. Our operatives have reached Randolph Symes III's private retreat, where we may be able to find additional information that may help us decipher his notes and make sense of his activities. However, our scans indicate enemy presence in the area. Guns is pretty good. It is smart to use guns for fighting. I don't know. I guess if we lose this guy, it's like not the end of the world. He was not cheap, though, you know? So there's a considerable expenditure of resources to pick him up. So we're going to try our best. I assume that this class existed in the base game. I don't remember there being melee guys, but probably, right? Okay, berserkers are vicious melee. Oh, boy, that is not what my dude looks like. Melee weapons are close-range weapons that can only target enemies and adjacent tiles. Any selected item, even the soldier's arms, can be used as melee weapons by using the bash action. Yeah, some obviously more impressive than others. So, we already see two enemies. Melee guy there and melee guy there. And all we're here to do is kill. We're not... Oh, no, we're here to obtain Symes' journal. Killing is secondary. We don't see any of those infinite reinforcement points, though. So that bodes well for us. We should definitely just take care of these guys while we're out in the open, right? Where are my gunners? What kind of shot does Arena have from where she's standing? A pretty decent one. This guy's only got 110 HP. So basically just like put as much of his body in the circle as possible and then whiff. Yeah, well, it's always a possibility.
Come get some.
We can move closer. If I run up here, do I reckon that's guaranteed-ish? Probably not. It's probably still kind of far away. I don't really want to have to run back. I'll say that. But this, like, there's so much dead space in the circles here. I don't feel confident that we're going to get even 3 hits here. I'm gonna close. Obviously, this pays off real bad if I don't kill him. But look at that. I mean, that's kind of... Yeesh. It's kind of a lot of body in the circle. He's alerted. Wait a minute, somebody shot me. Look, we don't have a pistol shot on him. I guess let's have Sato also come over here and help with the... Oh boy. Sato's going to be firing from real far away. And Sato has located another target. Okay. All the way across the map, though. Ooh, I ran to a different location than I intended to. The disturbance of stopping because we saw an enemy got me all off target. Well, let's use our new ability here. Take a shot while we only have 1 AP. Oh boy, and I've given him significant cover. Well, okay, pretty bad shooting. All around, pretty lousy shooting. I'm gonna put you on, like, in the building Overwatch. If anybody comes through from there, you tell them what's up. Your job is gonna be... I guess I can do this Overwatch. I'm still worried about accidentally hitting one of my allies if I Overwatch in this direction, so... And Velos... do we want Velos to move forward? Like, between the two of them, they should have this under control, I would think. Velos is probably wasting AP if he's moving in that direction. But I don't want him to separate too much from everybody. He's going to hang out with the heavy. Just keep things versatile. Uh-oh. Pandoran Supplemental Siphon. Pandorans capable of siphon attacks restore their HP when dealing damage. Yeah, he's got that blood-sucking arm, right? This we had a vague idea about. All right, I'm pretty disappointed in my troops here. Pretty disappointed in myself for making that move incorrectly as well. Okay. Nice. Good hit. Took the legs right out from under him. Both of them, in fact. That looks like a problem that we're going to just resolve with a hammer. Now the question, can this guy get close enough to take a swing? Unfortunately, yes. Boy, there are a lot of them crawling around here. Well, thing number the first.
Acquiring target.
Hey, look, you finally figured it out. And then we get a free move. Okay, it looks like it's about... this might be 2 action points worth of movement. No, it's okay. It's about 1. Still, pretty cool. Can't see what the shot looks like. The tree is really awkward. All right, what does Arena have on this dude?
Finger on the trigger.
Arena has a really, really good shot, is the answer. Should be nearly impossible to miss. And then if we...
Come get some.
I can't tell if this guy's aware or not, and it's like a 60-40 that will miss, I think. It's probably not worth taking the shot. It is probably a matter for the Overwatch. All right, hammer.
Proceeding. I can see my way.
And so bash is like it will strike differently. It is different from using an actual strike, and it does a lot less damage. All right, just knock his block off. Seemed to work pretty well. Okay. Is that shot as bad as it looks? Oh, well, from his point of view, no. I think we probably get a bullet in. Yeah, there we go. And 1 bullet is enough to do something interesting with that weapon. And then we might, it looks like, be able to really give him something with Sato. Let's try to get as much mass as possible in the center circle. There we go. Good work through the glass and all, everybody. And I think the thing is going to be to get inside the building and start searching. I'm glad that we took the time to clear the side. But now that we've done so, we got to get on task. I don't know for sure that we're talking about infinite reinforcements here, but we absolutely could be talking about infinite reinforcements, right? Nice shot. Wow, all that motion still with a busted leg. I mean, I guess he moves on a lot of limbs, so that probably does limit the amount of harm that he really suffers from the one leg. If I commit like this, I'm really, like, obviously we'll kill this guy. But I guess I'm really saying that I'm sure I'm going to get rid of the Strangler. I think it's worth it. We're just going to have to get somebody up here and make sure it happens.
Perfect shot.
So let's see. You're not going to be able to get an angle. He's chosen a good position for escaping from Omar's wrath. Jacob can get all the way to here where we kind of have a shot. I think it's the best we're getting. Points his face directly into the barrel of my gun. So I don't know that it matters terribly which tile I stand in. I guess I'm gonna choose this one. Put a solid wall behind me and caulk. Okay. Let's stand next to the wall. It's got to be upstairs, right? How much of a shot do you have? If we wait for him to lean on that angle again. There we go, with his head sticking out from behind the wall. So that's both of his legs down. He is now bleeding for more than he regenerates for, but he still will survive for a turn. I guess I could have started with this. Yeah, pretty good work, everyone.
Let's do this.
Oh, no. I gotta hold my mouse a little bit differently. My twitches are not good today. So we haven't heard any sounds from upstairs in a while. I wonder how safe is it to just run?
I'm going in.
I'm gonna commit the Berserker pretty deep here. Okay. So I don't see any interactables at all anywhere on the map. Well, I mean, there's only so much house, right? It's gonna be around here somewhere.
They can't stop me.
They leave. Oh no, that's right. It's 3 action points, 2 will points. Okay, well, you're just gonna stand out here. We'll jet back up to the roof in a second and see if it reveals itself. Oh wait. Ah, okay. There is a visible point of interest. It just I was not on that floor. So we'll send a couple of people up to get it, and
Moving in quick.
I don't really know. I don't know what the best way to set up here is. I don't know if I expect there to be spawns. Obviously, like diegetically, it wouldn't make any sense for there to be aliens that show up when we find the journal. But from a video game mission design standpoint, you could see such a thing occurring.
Advancing.
And I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm going to have like a really hard time escaping. I do think it's definitely worth it to get Irina up on this top floor. And I think Omar just being in a position where he has the angle to do some jetpacking is good enough. It might behoove me to like move a step or two away from things. You know what? I'm probably fine where I am. I'm a little worried about like the narrow angle making it difficult to move up quickly.
Moving to coordinates.
All right, so you got some cover here.
Moving to
You're watching this corner. Don't know exactly what to expect. Wait, where did my point of interest go? Oh. There we go. Okay, nothing happens. Fair enough. Well, nice clean killing, everybody, and we actually managed to get some decent XP out of the hammer guy. Sadly, not enough for a level, but, you know, pretty good. There are no known health risks associated with consuming nutrients derived from our autonomous food production facilities. We've run no studies. Nobody's been eating them for long enough to have any idea. But what I can tell you for sure is you can't prove they'll poison you.
As the world fell apart around us, it was difficult not to feel guilty. Some chose to be proactive and fight, but not me. I came here instead. My best weapon is my mind, and I need silence to put it to work. The history of the Phoenix Project is a complex tapestry. In Russia, Turkey, Britain, Spain, not one unbroken lineage, but a tangle of organizations, each passing the torch to the next with only one goal: to protect the human race. But protect it from what? Did they know about the Pandora virus? And if so, how? The answers are out there. So much has been investigated and collected and analyzed, but it's all scattered, lost. I don't know if it's possible to track it all down, but I have to try. There's only one thing I'm sure of. I can't stay here anymore.
Our operatives have retrieved a big batch of documents from the Symes retreats. These should allow us to understand what he was doing and what he discovered when we analyzed them. We've identified 3 key sites that Symes singled out as particularly relevant to his research into the history of the Phoenix Project and previous outbreaks of unusual diseases. It is imperative that we send operatives to investigate these sites as soon as the strategic situation allows. Okay, and we got some tech, which is cool. Tech, definitely the thing we're having the hardest time finding. Symes fought for redemption. He sought to redeem the Phoenix Project, his family name, and himself. A tragic figure writ large. We don't really know enough to... Okay, you know, his story is not our story. Who do we care? Who cares? We do not have to follow him in his trail of breadcrumbs. But... seems like it might be a good idea, right? So... Rise by Sin, by Virtue Fall is way out there. Frozen, of course, far to the north. And Prisoner of Ice... remarkably equatorial, actually. Alright, may as well have the crew pick up some other points out here while we're exploring. We don't have the crew to, like, watch over a second base, and I worry that picking one up before we do have bodies to defend it, should it get attacked or whatever, like... is that just going to lead to it? Is that just going to lead to its loss? I remember there being a lot of base attacks in the game previously. So hunker down makes your next attack cost -1 AP, which is interesting. It ends the turn, but then your next attack on the next turn will cost only 2 AP. I don't know. I don't find that particularly compelling. Jetpack control jumps to a location within 14 tiles, limited to 1 use per turn. So, I mean, I have this ability already, don't I? The thing is, can I see his actual... Okay, we get a little bit more customizability here, which is nice. But, can I see a description of the abilities he currently has? So you get their armor and mounts and everything. So I would love to see what the text on his jetpack button is. I guess the idea is, like, this stuff in the second row, this is stuff that, your soldier can learn because of their... this is stuff that's attached to the soldier, not the class. So the idea is this would be useful to him if he wasn't a heavy. So I think I actually might just allocate a couple of points to speed here, honestly. That seems like a reasonable thing for him. He needs the help. And then... yeah, we get into a little bit of trouble, I think. While we continue to research and to build our facilities and whatnot. Okay, we discovered another haven here. With another berserker at it. We probably don't need to be picking up another berserker. Eshuna claims to be the birthplace of the Apostle to the Onceborn, the missionary-like figure sent to bring foreign havens into the Anu fold. Though there is no real proof of this in any of the canonical texts, Exarch Vasquez has decided to build a massive statue to honor the Apostle. All that's lacking is the right materials to build it with. Exarch Vasquez is prepared to offer us a really good deal if we can help him. A really good deal. Well, we certainly have materials, and I would love some tech, so sure. Exarch Vasquez is highly pleased by the deal we've struck, promising that the Phoenix Project will be credited on the plaque that will be attached to the statue's pedestal. Okay, a little bit of positive attitude. 92 tech for 45 materials. Seems like a pretty good trade to me. And we're doing a good job of working out all of these sites. I mean, let's just continue the journey, huh?
Construction complete.
Got a bunch of buildings done. An eerie sight awaits our operatives at this location. Hundreds of tanks stand abandoned on a crumbling road. No battle was ever fought here. The weapons of the past were designed to kill fellow human beings, not to withstand a shapeless, relentless alien mist. You know what? I have a good reason to think that actually guns are pretty effective against the threats we're facing now. To New Jericho, the soldiers who fought here were heroes worth remembering, even though they were let down by corrupt, foolish governments. To Synedrian, they were victims of a decaying political system that could only resolve its problems with violence. To the disciples of Anu, they are an embodiment of the abominations of the old world. The question, what are they to us? So we can build a memorial that portrays them as heroes, or as victims, or as fools, or simply let these machines of death rot. I mean, without necessarily wanting to get involved in the politics of the situation, like, just raw, what do they feel like to us? To me, they feel like victims, right? A thing happened to them that they were unprepared for, and it took them. So I think, obviously, that's going to improve our relationship with Synedrian more than with the others, and maybe I should be trying to push real hard to get somebody high up quickly. I guess let these machines of death rot would be the disciples of Anu choice, and we can maybe make friends. I'm gonna stick with my feeling that they were victims of a future they could not have predicted. New Jericho didn't like that. Synedrian did like that. The memorial to the fallen is inscribed with the words of the poet Nadia Kammerer. Ask not the blind giant why he crushes the people. Ask why we pay tribute to a blind fallen god. Perhaps it will inspire people to approach the struggle against the Pandora virus in a more complex way. So there's nothing else that we want to build right away at the base, right? And we have this training facility, which is helping out the one person at the base for the moment. Obviously, those things will get more useful as we get more people. Maybe we should pick up another soldier. We're slightly positive on food now, which is, that's something. But these soldiers would cost a very significant amount of our total food. Perception and hearing range. That's interesting. But you're both berserkers, right? So assault rifle proficiency and heavy weapon proficiency. Caliph having +4 perception from 2 different traits is interesting. And proficiency with heavy weapons. I wonder what we could make of you. And Joran is it the further north one? If only I had slots. If only I had an extra seat on the plane, you know? I think grabbing that person would be very, very reasonable. Okay, that's a New Jericho Haven. I can probably close this. Where they have a Thunderbird. Do we want to check this out? I'm still a little nervous about what will happen if we can't defend it. We do need to get, you know what, we need more food. Maybe I should just build another food production station. Takes another 3 power, which we can afford. We'll have to build more power before we can build anything else after that. I don't know, may as well get started on it, right? Okay. I don't know if those rock locations, it's possible the extra power is not going to do anything because we've, you know, filled in all the spaces, but it's also possible that at some point we'll learn how to excavate that rock. I don't actually know. So that's why I'm building the power station. It may end up just being wasted resources. And with that, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and call it here. We have a decision to make, and I will think on it. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I feel like I'm getting into the swing of the basic missions here, if not necessarily, you know, understanding the greater strategic implication of all of my decisions. When you come back next time, maybe we're going to gain ourselves a base, or maybe we're just going to keep flying around and getting into trouble. Come back for that, and we'll see you then.